Hi, everyone. My name is Aroon. My background is in analytics and AI leadership, and I focus especially in the B2B environment. My specialty is turning data into revenue, and a lot of my work is about embedding AI into real sales processes and making sure that our goals are measurable, adoptable, and governed so it can scale. Srini, how about you?
Hey everyone, Srini. I'm in the space of data, AI, and technology strategy, especially in environments where complex legacy systems are involved, modernizing them and making sure that they are operating within the regulatory constraints. A lot of work that I do is in the area of building the data and operational foundations that can be leveraged for advanced analytics, and then now everything needs to be ready for intelligent agent space. So that's where I am.
Awesome. By the way, the one place we are both involved is the CAIO Circle. Just from an introduction perspective, CAIO Circle is a community of AI leaders who are working in different industries, different challenges, and we solve this in real enterprises. It's a place where we meet and we compare and we evaluate what's happening. Our circle is not just creating PowerPoints, it's more about what we actually do.
Exactly. Our conversations range from how do we set guardrails for agents, how do we build, align AI with business values, and then what is the risk appetite that organizations can take, and especially these days we are focusing on skills and governance that we need to put in place, considering how fast AI is progressing.
Awesome. Hey, so with that, let's jump into the core tension we are seeing right now. Srini, we have both been saying that the speed of innovation has finally overtaken the speed of adoption. When you look at AI agents specifically, what's the core tension of this moment for you?
For me, the core tension is that agent capabilities are advancing faster than most organizations can adapt their workflows, build governance or operating models around it. Right. So we can spin up agents that act across systems, take actions, and collaborate with people. But many orgs, the approval needs and then risk frameworks are still to be built for the agent world. They still exist in the pre-agent era, according to me.
I 100% agree. And actually, I will add that the gap is where both the opportunity and the danger live. Our tech is sprinting, but the operating model is jogging. And the distance between these two keeps growing. And as leaders, if we don't intentionally close that gap, you will either end up with paralysis or you'll end up with uncontrolled experimentation.
True, true. That leads to the next question. The next question that runs in my mind: what it feels like to be in the AI era compared to the previous waves, right? We both have been lived through earlier AI waves around where predictive models, chatbots, RPAs, right? So, from your perspective on the business side, what feels different about this agent movement?
Oh yeah, the big difference today is Gen AI is not just creating content; they are taking actions. We are seeing tool calls, APIs being hit, MCPs being involved. In some of the work that I'm involved, agents are now writing to databases directly, right? They're updating records. They are creating real sales campaigns. Um, I don't do this, but I also hear that now they can move money, right?
Yeah.
So that changes both the upside and the risk. In the last wave, a failure was, hey, a bad chatbot, right? But now, if your agent is misdirected, it can trigger real world changes, and that too at machine speed.
Absolutely. Once you connect an agent into your production systems of your organization, you have effectively hired a new kind of a digital employee, right? One doesn't get tired of doing things. It does things at faster speed than human beings, and then it never gets tired. That's very different from just saying that we have added a smarter autocomplete, right? It forces you to think about the roles, the responsibilities, and then the guardrails that leaders should set in an organization to operate in a new way.
Srini, you hit the real adoption bottleneck. People often assume that the main bottleneck is, hey, we need better models. But I think in our work, that doesn't seem to be the real story anymore. How do you see it, Srini?
Yeah, according to me, it's not about models anymore, right? So models have been trained well. They are available for direct access with org specific training to adapt to the organization need. It's more about the real bottlenecks are around the data access integration, the identity trust and permissions, just to make sure that model has or agents or models have access to a right set of data with guardrails, so that they don't go rogue and then do something that is not intended, as you just said, right? And also setting up the security and making sure that the vulnerabilities are taken care of, and very concretely decisions are made right from these agents. It's more about from my perspective, Arun, it is more about identifying the right business cases or business use cases to use these agents, and agent slash models, by the way, and then also how do we set different guardrails for these agents and models to operate within the guidelines.
Agreed, 100%. I've been in meetings where the conversation is no more, can the models do it? It's more about, hey, can the model touch production? What tables can the model see? If it, and most importantly, if it deploys a change, who is accountable, right? I think that's where adoption stalls. It's not that people don't believe in the tech. It's just that they don't yet see a safe way to embed these models into messy real workflows.
True. That's call for wake up calls, right? I mean,
Hmm.
what's interesting in this is not theoretical concerns anymore. Now that many of these models are even agents are productionalized. Now we have a real world signal that capability is moving so fast that governance and controls are lagging behind right now. That's where things get risky, Aaron.
Hmm.
We have been watching some recent examples that bring these issues to life, right? So do you want to highlight a couple of them that stands out for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So there was this test that was run by EVM Bench. It's a recent example. The EVM Bench study essentially showed that models are a lot better at exploiting vulnerabilities than fixing them. And what that really means for us is that governance has to catch up because capability can outrun controls. There was another study from Microsoft which showed how attacks can hide in everyday AI features. I think in February this year, there was a post where a simple summarize with AI link can carry hidden instructions that try to shape what an assistant remembers or recommends later. So, what that means is that in an agent world, the attack surface now includes the UI, the links, and not just the code.
Yeah. I mean, we have seen some examples that occurred in December with AWS Cost
Hmm.
Explorer disruption as well, that was later reported in February. Some reporting linked it to Amazon Kiro coding tool, while Amazon publicly said that the interruption was caused by misconfigured access controls or a user error, not really from an AI. In any way, the lesson is the same, right? So when automation sits in the change path, the permissions and approvals become real safety concerns within the system.
Hmm.
It wasn't malicious. It just did exactly what it was allowed to do in a system that wasn't ready for a level of autonomy. It's more about agents learning and then doing something on their own without the right permissions.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah.
So all that said, safety and governance have to evolve at the same pace as capability, or not as afterthought. So considering this, like how do you think move fast without chaos in this world right now?
Um, I've so usually I anchor on three principles, right? One is let's start narrow, right? You pick a bounded high value use case, you define your success metrics, your failure modes, and you have a rollback plan ready upfront. Be very explicit about where humans stay in the loop.
Mhm.
Uh, the approval processes. Make sure you document your high-risk actions, deployments. Be aware of large transactions. Agents can do the heavy lifting, but ultimately humans still own the final call. Observability is pretty important. Log what the agents can do, which inputs can they see, what outputs they generate. Without that, you can't debug or audit when something goes wrong.
Agree. I'd like to add a couple more points to that.
Hmm.
What you said, right? It's more about permissions and then least privileges. Agents need to be treated like new team members on the team, right? Start with minimum access they need, not a super user role where they have access to everything to do what whatever is available in the system. Expand only as you build confidence in them, and then reusable controls, right? Instead of a bespoke safety setups for every project, build a standard agent launch kit that every team must use. A permission template by risk tier, a required audit log format, a pre-deployed test suite for prompt ingestion, and then data leakage. And definitely a kill switch or a rollback playbook, which is very necessary when agent is not operating within the guardrails defined.
100% Srini. By the way, I love that framing. You are building an agent platform, not a collection of one-off experiments. If every new agent automatically inherits observability, permissioning, and controls, then you can sleep, more soundly at night. Srini, let me ask you this: what
Mhm.
does thriving look like to you in an agentic era?
Absolutely. A few patterns that stand out to me are, just experimenting, not just experimenting with the tools, right? Started redesigning the workflows. Where do we add? I mean, it's not anymore like, where do we add an AI button, right? If an agent can open a ticket, pull the right data, and then draft the response, update CRM, right? It's more about end to end. Definitely. This is one of the area that I consider, right? So, and I see, treat an agent as part of an operating model rather
Hmm.
than another application within your ecosystem. There is a clarity on what agent does, what human do, and how they collaborate and work together, right? And they also have a real learning muscle. The short feedback loop, postmortem and agent misbehave, regular tuning of policies and prompts, and most importantly, ongoing upskilling for people, right? So these are some of the things that we all will have to thrive and then make best use of agents for a positive business outcomes.
Agreed. Srini, uh, fill in the blank for me. Um, Today, the success story isn't we deployed 50 agents, but
Um, our cycle times have dropped. Our
mhm,
customer experience has definitely improved. Our teams feel they are empowered to utilize the agents to be more productive, engaging the agents or co-pilots as digital co-workers than the competition. That's how I look at it, right?
awesome.
What is like, for me, thriving is when business outcomes, human experience, and agent capabilities of all move together, not when one races ahead of other. Arun, that's how I'm looking at it.
I 100% agree, Srini. If you had to leave technologists and leaders today with one takeaway for this moment, what would that be?
I would say stop thinking only in terms of tools and start thinking in terms of the workflows and decision rights. Agents are not just a smarter apps anymore. They are actors in your
Mhm.
ecosystem. If you redesign workflows and governance with that in mind, organizations can harness the speed of innovation without being overwhelmed by it.
I 100% agree, Srini. And my key takeaway would be, hey, be ambitious on a capability, but be disciplined on control. Move fast on pilots and learning, but be very deliberate about where agents can act, what they can touch, and how you monitor them. If you do that, you won't just survive the wave of agents, you'll actually thrive and you'll put your organization in a position to lead.
Exactly, Arun. The organizations that thrive will be the ones that match speed of agents with the maturity of their own operating model.
Couldn't have said it any better. Thank you, Srini.
Great, Arun. This is a great conversation.
Yep. See you soon.
See you. Bye.